The best way to get better at programming is to practice. In this example, we're going to look at formatting numbers so that when we put it into the output stream, it looks a lot nicer. As always, this file is available for download from the link provided in the description. You can try it on your own, then check your answer, or follow along. All right, so let's get started. We've got two doubles, a percentage and a price, and we're going to work on formatting these values. So I'm going to say cout. The percent is, then if I put in percentage, it's going to give me a long, large number, something that I may not want to see. Okay, I'm looking for 2 decimal places. So I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to add to my stream. First, I'm going to set fixed. This makes sure that I don't go into scientific notation. The other is I want to look at setting precision. And I shouldn't need to use fixed if I use the set precision. In order to set precision, however, I need to include a new library. So I'm going to say pound include IO, and it's IO manip, short for IO manipulation. So now I'm going to come in here to my cout stream and do set precision. And I'm going to set it to 2 because I want 2 decimal places. Notice I put this before I put my number. Now when I go and run this, it shows me as 80.07. Now if I want to make this a percentage, then clearly I need to come in here and add a % sign to my stream. So that's pretty easy. You also might ask, well, what happens if I had 0.07 and maybe 8? Will my set precision round up this value? So we're going to change that real quick, run this, and notice that it does round it for us based upon whatever that precision value is set. So that's a real nice tool there for us to use. Let's go down one and let's see if we can do something similar for our price. So I'm going to do cout. It will cost, then you can put a $sign, set precision. Once again, I'm going to set it to 2, and then add in price. If I run this, notice that my set precision, my number was 0.4. The set precision said, oh, I'm going to show 2 decimal places. So it goes in there and does 0.40. It makes sure we add that extra value in. So we need to put in things like our $sign, or if we were using some other currency, whatever the currency symbol is for that, or our percentage sign. But using the set precision, using fixed, gives us a lot of flexibility, a lot of tools that we can use to make our output much nicer. But it's not the only thing we can do. Let's say I had a series of numbers I want to display. I want to make sure they all lined up. So I'm going to say cout, and I'm going to specify that I want to be right justified, and have a set precision of 2 once again, and setting the width. Now the set W sets the width of the number of characters that we're going to display. So let's just take a quick look at what this is going to look like. And I'm going to put in 123.456 just real quick so we can kind of see. Notice it gives us a couple of spaces before. We see 123.46. That's that rounding that got applied. 8 spaces gives us those trailing blank spaces. Now, what's fun is if I remove my semicolon, I can add new values. Notice I'm using the enter key without putting a semicolon. This is all going into the same cout. And let's just kind of test and see, okay, how is this going to work if I start getting a column of values? Well, if I run this, you're going to notice that, hey, oh, it starts to work, but then some things don't always line up. So for example, set precision always worked, but my width and my right justification didn't. So what we're going to do is say, okay, you know what? I'm going to modify this set width here. So it's going to be at the beginning of all my numbers. Now if we go and look at this, the right-hand justification actually was set. It's just that it didn't know how wide to move it, so it didn't know how wide to put it. You'll also notice that the one number that was bigger than 8 characters, it didn't truncate it. It displays the whole thing. It's just it's no longer in that column. So I might need to change that 18. I might need to make it 12 or 15 or some other value so that that way all my numbers line up. And this is what you would find like in a spreadsheet or something like that. So it's a very easy tool to kind of go in there and tweak with just a minimal number of changes. Now you might think, well, how can I easily tweak this if I've got, a huge amount of values? Well, I could put a variable in there. So I could say column width or something like that, give it a value of 8 or 10 or 12 until I got it to working the way I wanted it to. So there's a lot of little things that you can do to kind of tweak this to make it really easy to work with. But these are some simple basic ways to improve our output stream to make working with this data much easier. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to get better at C and C++ programming, watch the rest of this series and consider subscribing to the channel.